So the 49ers just made a really interesting move. And frankly, I don't even really understand what it means. We're going to talk about that in this episode, plus injury updates and a breakdown a little bit further on how the 49ers and the Buccaneers are matching up right now. Hit subscribe if you're looking for 49ers content like this. Appreciate all of you guys, especially your comments. It's so interesting to see what you guys think all the time, even when you disagree. Part of the beautiful game. I love it. But let's get into the 49ers taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2 days' time. What are your score predictions? I like score predictions because it kind of tells you a lot about what a team or what a fan thinks about their team and what they can do. For example, if you think they're going to win, and I just said who's going to win, that tells you a little bit, but it doesn't tell you a whole lot. If you say 30-24, it tells you what you think about your team's offense. It tells you what you think about your team's defense versus their offense. I just think it's interesting. So let me know what your score predictions are for the game. So far this season, I've been pretty decent. I was wrong on Thursday night, blissfully. So glad to be wrong. Happily wrong again about the Los Angeles Rams and the 49ers' ability to go in there and upset in Levi's South. So that was big. That was awesome. But other than that, I've been fairly close. This 49ers offense has failed to produce high numbers so far. They're moving the ball well, still struggling a little bit in the red zone, still don't have all their guys back. So, it is what it is. And I feel kind of the same way. This looks like yet another week where this is going to be a grinded out kind of game. This is going to be a gritty kind of win if the 49ers can pull it off. I believe the Niners are going to win. I really do believe that. And I do believe we'll talk about a little bit of that toward the end of today's episode, why I think the 49ers are set up to win in this game. We'll get into that later. But as far as score prediction, I'm still feeling very similar to where we've been, which is a winning score for the 49ers is going to be somewhere around 24-27. And I think we're holding that Tampa Bay offense, as decent as it can be, we're holding that Tampa Bay offense to somewhere between that 21-24 range. That's how I'm feeling about it. I think it's going to be a tight victory. I think it's going to be gritty. There's going to be a couple of really bad drives in there. I'm anticipating it already. But I also think the 49ers win the turnover battle, and that's going to win them the game. That's my personal opinion. I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say about that one. Let's get into injury updates, and then we got to talk about this very interesting move the 49ers made that we're going to get into that too, because I'm not even sure what it means, and I'm curious what you think on that one too, so that'll be coming as well in a few minutes here. Let's start with the injury updates, though. So the 49ers versus Bucs on Sunday, with a combined 43 injured or sidelined players, is the battle for first place in the NFC, says Dante Atkinson. 2 of the 3 most injured teams in the NFL are vying for the early number 1 seed in the NFC. So pretty fun there. Really fair point. I actually have a full breakdown. We won't get into all of them, but I got a full breakdown of all the guys that are on the injury report, which I think is interesting. But the most notable ones being Malik Mustafa, Alfred Collins, Juwan Jennings, Mac Jones, Upton Stout, Kalia Davis. I was excited to see Kalia Davis on the questionable list. That's a good sign there. Those guys are potentials for Sunday, and I think most of them will go. We don't have a ton of information on Upton Stout. I'm hoping he can go. We'll have to wait and see there. On the outs, though, Brock Purdy, Ricky Pearsall, those are the big ones on the outs. Kevin Givens just came back, not going to be quite ready yet. And Yetur Gross-Matos, he's been dealing with that knee injury off and on throughout the entirety of the season. Would love to see him healthy. Would love to see him impacting plays on a regular basis. He's got a great physique, great size, and a great versatility. But I'd like to see him out there consistently. That would be the nice thing. But as we are trying to understand these questionables, let's get into a couple details around them and some of the outs as well, like Brock Purdy and Ricky Pearsall. Some interesting stuff here. But Akash pointing out that the 49ers are probably getting Juwan Jennings back this week along with Malik Mustafa, and that's 2 starters, right? On top of that, hopefully adding Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle, and Brock Purdy in the next few weeks. Continue to round out this roster, not to mention Brandon Aiyuk somewhere in the near-ish future as well. So lots of guys coming back from injury, which is a great sign for the 49ers. And I suppose you could say we're hitting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at an opportune time, considering how banged up we are. We're going up against a team that is as banged up. You could argue in some ways that it's even worse. I'm not sure that's true. I don't know how you really quantify that appropriately. But, the 49ers and the Buccaneers kind of meeting at a time in the season when both teams are banged up. They both probably feel good about that, considering if they were playing a healthy opponent, it would be harder, right? Unlike yesterday, Mac Jones was back to throwing at today's practice, which is what I told you yesterday, hoping that he'd be able to do that. Juwan Jennings also on hand for the second straight day. No Brock Purdy or Ricky Pearsall. Purdy seen pushing a weight sled, suggesting his big toe is making progress. So that is good progress. To be pushing a weight sled, that's great. I'll take that all day long, considering how the situation that Mac Jones is in is not that much better. The 49ers plan on opening Curtis Rourke's window, which is interesting. Recently drafted quarterback. I think a steal potentially in the long term in terms of how you could get him because he was injured and how far he could fall for you. But anyway, I mean, not something that we're thinking about for this year. It's a red shirt year for him. Buccaneers ruled out Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Bucky Irving officially for Sunday's game against the 49ers. You still have Emeka Egbuka, so like it's not going to be easy, right, by any stretch of the means. They have plenty of targets they're still going to be throwing to, and I think they'll be saying the same thing about the 49ers. Yeah, just because George Kittle's out, just because Brandon Aiyuk's out, doesn't mean that this is a walk in the park. This team can still move the ball through the air. We've shown it. We showed it last week. We've shown it again. We're going to be coming in a little bit more rested, which helps a little bit, but still significantly banged up. So are the Buccaneers. That's the good news. So are they. We at least, the only game that matters right now is the game that's in front of us. And when you look at the Buccaneers, they actually have more players out off of their roster than the 49ers do in this particular game. You know, if you just go with the outs, I understand that list right there, you know, is not going to include everybody, right? So you're not going to see your IR players on there and things like that. So obviously it's not a perfect situation. But if you just look at like some of the guys, there's some big names on that list. You know, you got Zion McCollum's officially out. That's huge. You know, you got corners that are out. So look, the 49ers have an opportunity here. They have an opportunity to play a banged up team here. Quick pause so I can tell you about the latest opportunity from my partners over at DraftKings Sportsbook. This is an any given Sunday league. Virtually every game is on the table, and DraftKings wants to give new customers a pretty sweet opportunity. New customers can sign up today, bet $5, and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. You can lock in that offer by using my promo code STSF. The action in football continues to be amazing. You may want to make it even more interesting with same-game parlays, futures, or anytime TDs. So whether you want to look ahead at this week's games and predict on the most electric of matchups, or if you want to get involved right in the middle of the action and bet live, you can do that and so much more with my partners over at DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings has got you covered with everything you could possibly need. So use my promo code STSF. Place a $5 bet and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. The crown is yours. And how are they going about it? What are they doing? What's happening behind the scenes? Well, I'll tell you this. I don't remember the last time the 49ers brought in a bunch of quarterbacks to look at them on a Friday before the game. But the 49ers did today, which is it puts a lot of questions on my mind. The 49ers brought in, pull it up. Come on now. There it goes. The 49ers brought in Quentin Dormady, Nathan Peterman, and Desmond Ridder. 3 quarterbacks the 49ers brought in. So the obvious question for me is, if it has to be asked, does this mean something? Does it mean something that the 49ers are bringing in this many guys? That they're bringing in quarterbacks right now? And if it does mean something, what does it mean? Does it say something about Mac Jones's health? Are they more concerned today than they thought they were going to be about his health? Because yesterday morning on KMBR, John Lynch seemed very confident in Mac Jones's health, that he didn't throw a football during practice. So, you know, I've got some concerns there. Does this say something about Adrian Martinez, the UFL legend that we've never seen before? Does this say something about him, about the 49ers' confidence if he has to go in? Or is it simple? Is it as simple as we need a third guy? We need another quarterback that we can call up if we need to. We need an emergency quarterback. We need a whatever, you name it. Is it that sort of, roster situation where you just need another guy to suit up because you don't like the way you felt on Thursday night? You don't like that gut feeling that all of us had when Mac Jones went down and he's grabbing his knee. And everybody's looking at Adrian Martinez, who himself, I swear it happened. It really did happen. If you haven't seen it, the clips of it, it's pretty hysterical. I saw it live. When Mac Jones got back up and started walking off the field, you see like Adrian Martinez in the background and he's smiling. And a lot of people were like, is that relief? It's like, oh, thank goodness. I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't ready to go out there. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to read into it too much. I'm telling you the questions that it causes me to ask. I'm not going to tell you what that means. I'm not going to tell you what I think that even means because it might mean nothing. It might not mean anything important. But I do think it's worth asking the questions. And particularly the guys that the 49ers did bring in. David Lombardi put his opinion out there saying the 49ers tried out 3 QBs today, plus a handful of wide receivers, presumably so quarterbacks had targets to throw to. This is unusual for a Friday, but understandable given the Mac Jones injury limitations we saw this week. San Francisco can theoretically sign a QB to the 53 roster Saturday and dress him for the game Sunday. So who do they look at? They looked at Desmond Ridder, who's on the screen there behind those graphics there. Former third rounder, played Cincinnati, drafted by Atlanta for pick 75 or something like that, around that area of the draft some years ago. 21, maybe 22, something like that. It didn't work out for him in Atlanta. He did throw for nearly 3,000 yards a couple years ago for Atlanta, but he also, his touchdown to interception ratio was not ideal. 12 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, with a 64% completion percentage. So not great for him. Could be worse though. Nathan Peterman on this list right there. Not any better. That's for sure. He tried out with the team as well, has been on 3 different rosters as a backup. Career completion percentage of around 50-ish, just above 50%. And he himself has thrown 4 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. So not exactly, cream of the crop that are trying out for backup quarterback for the 49ers right now. Quinton Dormady has, to my knowledge, never even taken a snap in the NFL. I don't believe so. He's played for the UFL. He's played for the XFL as well. On a couple of those teams. I don't even remember the teams' names, if I'm honest with you guys. So he's played, he's got some experience, but no NFL experience. So I don't really understand what this means. Is this just we're looking for a third string guy? We're just looking for somebody who can go up on Sunday and for a week just give us an outlet? If we get in really, really, really bad bind, he's a guy we can go to. I don't know. Genuinely, let me know what you guys think in the comments about this one, because I honestly, as I've stated 72 times, I don't even know. But let's talk about the fact that the 49ers are going into this game as underdogs. How many games now have the 49ers gone into where more people are picking them to lose than they are picking them to win? Like, I'm thinking like NFL Network, ESPN. I'm seeing every single week almost, except for the Saints, really. I'm seeing every single week other people saying the 49ers are going to lose this game. They've only lost one. Only lost one, which is pretty wild. The Rams was obviously the biggest of the upsets, but they're going into this game with the same exact narrative. People don't believe the 49ers can do it. They don't believe in them. And I think the 49ers play very, very well as underdogs. We saw in 2024 how they played when they were, over-anticipated winners of every single game. So the 49ers go up against Tampa Bay, and the matchup is crazy close. It is surprisingly close. So if you look, what you're looking at is offense versus defense. And 49ers are always on the left, and then Tampa Bay is always on the right. And the interesting thing there, though, so if you look at how they match up in offense versus defense, just EPA, right? So 49ers are 15th to the Tampa Bay's 18th, okay? But if you go across the chart and you just look at your offense versus their offense, your defense versus their defense, you're 15th, they're 8th in all plays on offense. You're 11th, they're 7th in all plays. So on offense, so far, you're looking like, okay, they're actually doing okay. And then it's a wash per rush. 28th in the league, 27th in the league. I don't even want to hear it. Like we're not splitting hairs on that far down in the league. But then on defense, you see a different story. 49ers are 13th to their 18th in all plays EPA. Okay, in offense EPA and then defense EPA allowed, right? And then per dropback, they're 17 to the Tampa Bay's 26 because they're leaking yardage in the secondary. And then 7th per rush to their 1 per rush. So fairly even matchup there. And then when you look at special teams, the 49ers, thanks to Eddie Pinheiro especially, their EPA is significantly higher in special teams, where Tampa Bay is 31st in the NFL. So I think as we look at the matchup, everybody believes the Buccaneers are going to win this game. Like ESPN did their latest, everybody goes and says what they think is going to happen, and nobody picked the 49ers to win. And I love it. I love it. Sleep on this team because they have shown you what happens when you sleep on them many times, and I'm counting on it. I need Tampa Bay to sleep on them too. I think it's a good situation for us. But listen, 49ers taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2 days' time. I got another video coming out tomorrow. Well, I have no idea what it's going to be about, so we'll just wait and see how it all plays out tomorrow. I don't know if we'll get to win the West or not. We'll see. Lots of stuff still to come, though, so make sure you subscribe and don't miss out on all of that. Appreciate you guys. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your Friday evening.